I'm the bad guy. I'm the, I'm the bad.
Welcome back to Across the Gridiron with the Cowboys out of playoffs, out of contention, out of everything else. I was wondering what I should talk about, right? I'm going to look into the games that are coming in the weekend, but there's a fascinating conversation that I do want to get into, guys. And I know everyone is talking about it, and that is the MVP race.
Absolutely,
But let's get
absolutely,
into it.
absolutely. Well, yeah, we'll kick out it
Right.
now. What we did.
Right. Okay, so I did a video about Josh Allen, for MVP. You can check that video as well. And today I want to dive a little bit deeper into that because we've got Lamar Jackson, we've got Josh Allen, and wait for it, Sam Darnold. Yep, you heard right. The Vikings QB is having a season that nobody saw coming, and I'm gonna break that down why he's not getting the love he deserves. But before we get into all that, please grab the subscribe button, like and subscribe the video as well. And let me hear your comments about what you think about this topic today. But how are you guys feeling? First of all, Happy New Year to all of you. I want to say thank you to every single person that has watched, our videos, watch and like and subscribe, sharing with lots of people as well. I want to say thank you very much. Thank you for getting us to 15K. And this year, 2025, let's go for 50, right? Let's go for 50K. Matt's not here. He sends his love. But let's look into it, right? Okay, so Sam Darnold, who is this guy? And where has he been hiding? I mean, it's like finding a 100 pounds note in your old jeans. You're shocked, you're excited, but you're also like, how did I miss this for so long? So let's get into it because I've got some, takes about this. Okay, let's start with Lamar Jackson. The Ravens record, not too shabby. They're 11-5, and Lamar is doing Lamar things, over 3,900 passing yards, 39 touchdowns, I believe, and just 4 picks. And oh, yeah, 852 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground. Is there anyone more valuable to Lamar and to the team, the Ravens? Um, for me, Lamar is just like Wi-Fi, right? You don't realize how much you need him until he's not there. And I recently just, changed my Wi-Fi to another provider. And you know what? It really, really, you forget how much effort it is, to connect so many devices. And we're so connected right now, phones, laptops, tablets. I probably have, Alexa, so many things that are connected to Wi-Fi. And, it's funny because I was doing something on my laptop, late in the night, and then the Wi-Fi just went. And the thing was that there was still signal strength, but there wasn't any internet. And I was thinking, what's going on? Why is my Wi-Fi? And I forgot that that day was the switch over day. And for me, I think that's what Lamar is to the Ravens, right? He's carrying the Ravens in every way possible. He's not just their quarterback, he's their RB1. Let's not kid about that. I know they've got Derrick Henry, there. And something I think is out there playing defense, because the longer he keeps the ball, the harder it is for the other team to get on the pitch. And don't get me started on those red zone plays, right? There was the spin move against the Bengals. Um, the Ravens offense lives and dies with Lamar. If he's off, the whole team struggles. That's value, right? That's MVP level. And someone might say, Eddie, but hold on a second. What about the turnovers, right? Okay, yeah, he's fumbled in big moments, even if his team has recovered that. Does that hurt his MVP case? Listen, the turnovers for me are like a rainy day at Disney World. You're annoyed, right? But you're still having a great time because the magic is real, So his production overweighs the mistakes tenfold. And will they hold that against him? I don't think so because Last season he got the MVP even when his stats was not, all the way there. And hey, I'm still bitter about Dak Prescott not getting the MVP, right? So, that's Lamar Jackson. Okay, Josh Allen, the Buffalo Beast, or you may call him that. So the Bills are 13-3 right now, and Allen is a one-man wrecking crew, right? It's 3,700 yards. So it's nothing between him and Lamar, right? 28 touchdowns, 11 rushing touchdowns. Plus, he's leading the league in fourth quarter comebacks, right? Is this his year? Um, I mean, Josh Allen, I love his clutchness. I did a video about Josh Allen, and for me, I am saying he's the MVP, right? That would be my vote if I was voting, right? But I don't get a vote, so I'm just talking about it. But I think that, he's single-handedly, turned the Buffalo Bills into a scary team, right? Because everyone thought with Stephon Diggs out of the way, the Bills were going to take a step back. But, you know, if you look at that game against the Lions, it was six total touchdowns on an elite team, three on the ground, as well. That's not just MVP stuff. That's superhero stuff, right? And let's not forget he's doing it in Buffalo weather. So if you can throw dimes in a snowstorm, you're definitely getting my vote. Okay, but what do the critics say? They might argue that he's had too many close calls this season, and the Bills defense has bailed him out of a few times. Is that fair? Is that foul? I mean, listen, right? Patrick Mahomes is over there in Kansas City. He's benefiting from a good defense, right? Because he's not been lighting it up, but he's just finding ways to win. And for me, I don't think that close games should be a knock on, Josh Allen. They should actually be a testament to his ability to rise to the occasion. If he wasn't playing at this level, the Bills could be, like the Cowboys, right? Maybe 7-8 or 7-9, or something like that. And I mean, the man is doing more heavy lifting than a moving company, I think it's fair to say. So Josh Allen gets my vote, but I want to talk about another person who I think that, he should be definitely in the conversation for MVP. And I think he should get a lot of votes as well. I think there's after Demar handling, I think last season about the comeback player of the year, because I mean, I don't fully understand that award. I know it's tilted towards injuries, and stuff like that. But I think that, Sam Darnold should be the comeback player of the year. I mean, look at the dysfunction he's had to deal with, from Jets, who, by the way, he has a better record than Aaron Rodgers. So going to the Carolina Panthers, they're still losing. And this is the narrative, that is going to be kicking again Sam Darnold because he's the butt of every NFL joke for years. Stuck with the Jets, the Panthers, two teams that couldn't organize a backyard barbecue, let alone an offense. Now he's Minnesota with actual talent around him and he's thriving. But here's the thing, people love a redemption story, right? Until it's actually happening. They don't want to believe that Donald is this good. And I've listened to lots of, podcasts. We're talking about Speak and some of the shows on Fox. And I know Shady McCoy absolutely cannot stand the fact that Sam Donald is doing very well. But for me, I think it's hard. It's very, very hard. I think Ocho said that it's hard to do to maintain a good season for a whole year. And the stats don't lie, right? You don't get to 14-2 record, without being good. You simply don't. I think the Vikings are legit, and Donald is the big reason why they are. I mean, is it fair, for his past to be holding him back in the MVP race? And I kind of look at that, sometimes as being in a relationship, right? You've had, one or two exes, and maybe it never really went well. And sometimes there's a lot of baggage, that you can be taking into that next relationship. And I feel like, Sam Darnold is taking in a lot of baggage, from his previous exes, the Jets and the Panthers, because for me, I think everyone is looking at him and they cannot go past how bad he really used to look, right? So I think 100%, you know, it is counting against him, but I think for me, right, it shouldn't. I think the past, with losing teams should not hurt him. The same reason as, when Matthew Stafford was on the Lions and they were just a losing team. And then he goes to the Rams and he wins the Super Bowl. Can Sam Darnold do that? Because I think if he does that, I don't think the Vikings have actually ever won the Super Bowl. So now someone might correct me here, but I don't think they have. And if he does that, whew, I mean, I think that's really, really good. I think that's really, really good if he does that. I don't think anybody is talking enough about Sam Darnold, but I think you should, especially if he locks up the number one seed. And yes, I'm going to remind all of you because that's the thing that you guys used to kick Dak Prescott away from getting the MVP award last season because you said, oh, look at Lamar. He was the number one seed, even though he crashed in the playoffs. But that, seemingly was convenient for everyone to forget about that. And I don't think Lamar has been to a conference game, has he? Because it's the same thing that people keep talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, they haven't been to a conference game in forever, right? But I digress. I think if that Sam Darnold gets the number one seed, he should be up there. I still would vote for Josh Allen, but because I think he's clutch. But if I'm going with my gut, I would say Donald deserves a shout. I think he silenced every critic, and the Vikings are a powerhouse. It's time to give him respect, right? I think it is. So listen, guys. I just wanted to hop on, and just really talk about the Vikings, in terms of what they're doing. I think Justin Jefferson is doing incredibly, incredibly well for the Vikings. Addison is doing well as well. I was just talking to my friend who's a Vikings fan, and I was just saying that, you know, they are making plays, right? Especially Hawkinson, right? He's coming up, with those got to have it type games. Or, where you're in third down and long situation, maybe third and 12, third and 14, for those that are still picking up the NFL here in the UK. Typically every team, you get four chances to get 10 yards. And sometimes you could have negative plays that take you back, so maybe you get a sack, or you get a penalty, and then you have to, walk, 5 yards or 10 yards. So, so sometimes, you get the Vikings, a third and long situation, and who do they turn to? They turn to Hawkinson, and he grabs the ball, brings it down, and he keeps the ball going, keeps the game going. So I look at the Vikings. I think they've got quite a bit, um, when it comes to the Lions, I don't know the way they've been playing recently. I think everyone is talking about what they have in their defense and whether their defense is going to be able to carry them all the way. So I would love to see them fall on their face, maybe in the first game in the playoffs. But of course, the team that I want to see absolutely tank in the playoffs, of course, it's the Eagles, right? No love for the Eagles as a Cowboys fan, but across the gridiron, sometimes I wear different hats, when I'm not a Cowboys fan, even though I am wearing a cowboy, hoodie today. But I'm not talking about the Cowboys, I'm talking about the NFL, which I love. So guys, let me know what you think. Join in the conversation, have your say as well. Who do you believe should be the MVP? And should Sam Darnold, be right up there? And should his past be held against him in terms of what he's doing? Listen, guys, for this for the rest of the week's prediction, let me just have a look at the NFL fixtures, because I want to talk about, some of the games that I will be looking forward to, this Sunday. So, You got the Ravens and the Browns. There's nothing much in that game. So I expect the Ravens to win that game. They might be resting their starters, but they're clinching the playoffs. They cannot get the number one seed. Kansas City has wrapped that up. So not really sure what they're playing for. Actually, that game is on Saturday 9:30 UK time. So I will be watching that game as well. I got the Steelers, Bengals. The Bengals have still got a slim chance of getting to the playoffs, but they need so many what if scenarios, to make that happen. I was watching the what if, on Marvels because I'm a Marvel fan and I love Marvel. And I feel like, the Bengals are in the what if, scenario, for a lot of teams. So I don't know about the Steelers. I think the Steelers, they've clinched the playoffs and maybe they're just taking it a little bit easy. But, there's something about going into the playoffs hard, which is about winning your games as you're getting into the playoff because you don't want to keep losing. They lost previously, and I think that they need a win in this game. So I think that's a very difficult game for the Bengals. You got the Falcons and Panthers. Bryce Young against Pennick, Junior. Hey, let's just see how those rookies, battle it out. Bryce Young is not technically a rookie, anymore. But not a lot in that game. That's a Sunday game. Um, Texans. Again, is there anything there in that game to really, really catch my fancy? Probably not. Eagles, Giants. Eagles should be resting their stars, but that game is the game that Saquon Barkley, should be getting his record. And I've been hearing the conversation, around that. And I think to myself, how would I feel if I'm Saquon Barkley and I'm this close to breaking a record that has been there for years? And your first, it's funny, right? Because there might be Eagle people in the organization that are saying, well, really, Saquon Barkley has only been here for a year, right? He's not like LaShawn McCoy that has given years and years to the Eagles. But to break a single rushing record, of the NFL, not just for the Eagles, but for the NFL that has been there for a long time. I mean, I would want to get it. I would want to get it. And I think, there's a lot of mindset, that goes with this, right? Because I think that if you play thinking that you're gonna get hurt, there's every chance that you're gonna do that. And the Eagles can't afford to do that. They can't afford to play like they're gonna get hurt, as well. So for me, I would say, they should go and get it. If his teammates want to get it for him, I don't see any reason why they should be stopped, from doing exactly that. Right. Okay. So on the games, we're gonna look at Colts Jaguars. I don't know, that game means nothing, so let's keep on that one. Cowboys and Commanders. Will I watch this game? It's 6 o'clock on Sunday, so probably I would, just to see, how the Cowboys finish the season. Um, I mean, Cooper Rush, returned to what Cooper Rush is. Not a very, very good quarterback. But I want to see Rico Dowdle, get some more yards because I think the boy deserves it. And it'd be good to see some of the other potentials in the Dallas Cowboys. The few players that are making up plays, as well, both on defense and offense. And yeah, that would just be one of those games that you watch, knowing that at the end the season is over. But I mean, I don't feel too bad, right now going into that end of the season because the season has ended quickly. And guys, I don't know, do you feel better if you get into the playoffs, but then you lose in one of the rounds? Or does it feel better when you know that you're not in the playoffs and so the games have a different sort of take to it, right? So it's really interesting. I don't know how. I mean, I know last season I was devastated, absolute devastated when we lost to the Packers. Lots of questions were being raised about Dak and the boys and everything. But it is what it is. The Cowboys play that game out, to go pack up their lockers and go home. Then you've got the Packers and the Bears. I think the Packers, have clinched. They might rest their stackers, say stackers. They might rest their starters in that game, as well. Then you got the Bucks and the Saints. I think the Bucks are still playing for something, right? Because it's still between them and the Falcons. But I think my money's on the Falcons. No, what am I saying? My money's on the Bucks, to get into the playoffs. I mean, the Falcons get into it. I think what's the point? Because they're gonna lose anyway. So you got the Patriots and the Bills. Bills might resting Josh Allen, in that game. Nothing to play for. Drake May, might do something. He's actually in my fantasy team. So, oh yeah, I need to look at my fantasy team and make some adjustments so I can catch up because I think I want to get Mims into my team from Denver Broncos because they are playing for something. So I think he's going to be crucial for them. So I'll get him in that team. Speaking about the Broncos, they played the Chiefs. They played the Chiefs on Sunday, 9:25 game in the UK. And who do I go for in that game? I mean, I don't want to bet against the Chiefs. I always say I'm not betting against the Chiefs. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs, even though I think the Broncos are going to play that very well. Then you've got Raiders and Chargers. I'll go with the Chargers in that game. Cardinals, 49ers. Oof. Two sorry teams. I probably go for the Cardinals in that game. Rams, Seahawk, I'm going for the Rams. I'm going for the Rams. I think the Rams don't want, to lose on the momentum that they're building since they came from their bye, winning lots of games, going into the playoffs, feeling like themselves. So hey, I'm gonna go with the Rams in that one. I didn't predict the Cowboys game and the Commanders. I don't care. Cowboys win, Commanders win, don't care about that. Packers, Bears, I'll go for the Packers. Colts, Jaguars, I'm going for the Colts. Eagles, Giants. Giants is sorry, but Drew Lock, he put up some numbers in the last game. So I should go for the Eagles to win though. I think Giants just don't know what it is, and Saquon will want to punish them. So let's see how that goes. Titans, Texans, I'll go for the Texans. Falcons, Panthers. Yeah, sneaky, right? I could go for the Falcons in that one. I'll go for the Falcons. Steelers and Bengals. This one is difficult to call. So I'm gonna go for the Bengals. I'm gonna go for the Bengals because they're gonna play like their lives depend on it. And then I did say the Ravens are gonna win against the Browns. So guys, listen, that was preview. A little bit different, from our regular schedule, but Matt will be back in the new year and we'll be back, doing touchdown turnovers, our ball predictions and all of that. But, have a very good new year. Looking forward to, enjoying 2025. 2025 is going to be good. I believe, for this channel, we're going to grow and keep growing. And of course, it might be the year that the Cowboys actually get out of their way, but I'm not going to hold you to that if that doesn't happen, right? So, guys, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.
I'm the bad guy. I'm the